If you are brand new or have returned from a long break, this video will guarantee help you get better. I was a part of the top 200 players to hit on Real this season, so I thought I would provide some tips and tricks that you guys need to learn. Otherwise, this game will feel kinda overwhelming. So, the first tip I'll be giving you guys is learning how to phase builds into your enemy's box. When you notice the enemy doesn't have a ramp or a cone in their box, instead of trying to take their wall, break their wall and try to place a cone or a ramp in their box. You can do this no matter what ping you have. Doing this will force the enemy to reposition, and while they're trying to reposition, you go for the piece control. So right here, I phase the ramp in the box, I'm already on the right side, so the only way they can go is backwards or under. I went for the pre-piece below them and ended up killing them. Here's another example of phasing builds. I noticed the enemy didn't have a wall placed behind them or to their left, so instead of taking their wall, I instantly phased 2 walls behind them. Then I go for the wall that's in front of me. They had no idea I had already taken the side wall, and it was an easy kill from there. Okay, the next tip is piece control. If you don't know what piece control is, it's getting as many builds around your opponent, then using those builds to end fights as quickly as possible. So for this clip, as the opponent is breaking my wall, I immediately go to box him by placing a cone above him and below him. If you look closely, I made the tiniest flick up and down to make sure my cones place properly. Keep in mind, cones place very far away, so try to prioritize cones over ramps. So next, my opponent tries to escape to the left, but as his back is turned, I place a wall behind him so he can't block me off. Then I edit through and place 2 more walls to fully box him in and kill him. So if you're still watching, that means you're enjoying this video and are interested in getting better. So make sure you guys leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Also follow me on Kick. Kick.com/swiper is on the screen right now. I stream every day, so come say hi, drop me a follow. So here's another way to piece control your opponents. When you're above your opponent and you're very confident in which way they're gonna go, you can place a floor and a cone above their head and simply double edit to get a huge pump off. Sometimes the opponent will place a wall to block you off after you make the double edit. So the way to counter this is simply placing the wall before they can. I do this move a lot and I find it very useful. So early in the video, I said to prioritize cones. This is one of the main ways to absolutely box your opponent. So for this clip, my opponent was 1 layer above me, but tried to jump up to another layer, but I stopped it by placing a cone above his head. And this was from a distance. So I placed a cone above his head, he fell down, and I one pumped him. Here's another example. My opponent was ramping, and he was 1 layer above me trying to go up, but I simply blocked him by placing a cone. That made a very good peek to kill him. So now we're going to talk about applying pressure. When you up damage on your opponent, you do not want them to heal. So the best ways to apply pressure is constantly shooting, smacking their walls while tracking them. In this clip, I already know my opponent is weak because he has been running, then decided to box up. So I decided to smack on his walls from the top angle, then phase a ramp into his box. So after phasing the ramp, I know he can only go back or to his left. So I race to get the pre-piece on him. But for some reason, instead of him leaving his box, he stays there, and I keep applying pressure by smacking his wall, then putting a cone in his box. It's a little sloppy kill, but the point is to show you guys how to apply pressure. Here's another example. I noticed this guy was creeping around, so I decided to wait for him. I ended up hitting a very hard pump and chased him down. Once again, when you up damage, you need to apply pressure so they don't heal. My teammate pressures them from one side, I go from the other side, and eventually take their wall. So for this next clip, I'm already up damage from sniping the opponent. I noticed they were only held up by 2 ramps. I chopped them out, hit a small pump while they were falling. Then when I got to their builds, I made sure to block every direction that they can mantle up from or side jump from to shoot me. So I go for his wall from the top, eventually get their wall, place a cone in their box, and eventually kill them. So now we're going to talk about something that I do 90% of the time. I'm sure you guys have already seen in some of these clips that I always go for a right hand peek. The reasons that everyone takes right hand peeks is because you can get a shot off before your opponent can even see you. It's a very simple but the most effective way to kill or get damage off on someone without taking damage yourself. If you don't have good peeks while fighting and end up taking a lot of damage, the fight will drastically change, leading you to getting killed. Most of the time when making an edit, you want to make sure your body is hugging the wall before confirming the edit. So in some of the clips I just showed you guys, my body is always hugging the left side of the enemy's box. Even if it's from the top or bottom. Right here, I block off all angles. I pre-piece in front of the box in case a kid runs at me. I predicted that he would keep going forward, then readjusted my body, going slightly to the left so I have the right hand peek on him. After taking another shot, I already knew I was up damage, so I decided to keep aggressing. In this clip, I'm staying very close to the left wall while aggressing. I take his wall and then I take his cone. From his point of view, he can barely see me while I can see most of him. So after taking the cone, it's just an easy right hand kill after that. Okay, so I have to show you guys some simple tips and tricks that I use in ranked. Let me know if you guys want me to make a sequel to that. But for now, we're going to get into the main way of getting better at fighting, which is grinding creative, PGs, realistics, zone wars, and box fights. The reason I said this is the main way of getting better is because you will end up fighting around 10 people in a ranked game or pub game on average, but in creative you can constantly fight a friend or a random until you get bored. So 50 rounds would take around 20 minutes, so imagine how much better you can get if you play creative for 2 hours. I've had times that I played creative for 2 to 4 hours straight just trying to get better. So if you made it this far into the video, just make sure you prioritize playing creative and then trying to apply those moves that you learned in creative into ranked. Another thing you should do in creative is free building consistently, but instead of free building and mindlessly doing it, focus on doing new moves, focus on your crosshair placement. Make sure that when you're making an edit that your crosshair is as tight as it can be. Best way to focus on your crosshair placement is by free building in this map and turning the speed down to 0.8. It slows down your character's movement, but your editing and building is normal. I found this to be the best and most efficient way of getting better crosshair placement and just better mechanics overall. So now we're going to talk about aim, arguably the most important aspect of Fortnite. Most people aim train using Kovac, to which I would 100% agree is one of the best ways to improve your aim. But I want to assume most of you guys just want to aim train within the game. So make sure you guys run this map here. Code is up on the screen right now. Play this aim duel map with your friends. What I usually do is run 3 of whichever one I choose. In these, you want to focus on your crosshair placement, readjust your crosshair to head level so that naturally your crosshair can end up sitting head level after you make an edit or any type of play to hit max pumps. I also use these headshot only maps to improve my aim. In this particular map, you can also build so you can practice your peaks and piece control while being forced to hit a max pump. Keep in mind that if you run these maps for around 20 minutes a day, that time adds up. I can guarantee that your aim will feel much better after running these maps for a couple of days. Okay, now we're gonna get into the live gameplay breakdown. So, for these first 2 kills, don't be afraid to abuse the current meta of the game. There's grenade launchers, sting bombs, and other very broken items in the game. So use them, it will get you some very easy kills and free percentage towards your rank. In this fight, my opponent forgot windows existed, so I simply boogie bombed him 2 times, lined up the headshot, and it was pretty much over. This next fight, if you didn't know, you can stack 2 C4s and instantly blow them up. The first one will destroy their builds, and then the second one will guarantee hit them for 60 damage. Surprisingly, this guy's last resort was to run at me and spray, so I waited for him to break my cone while lining up my shot and instantly pre-firing when the cone was broken. I waited for these 2 guys to fight enough for me to come and clean it up because I had no mats. I was only able to kill 1 guy, so I instantly picked up builds from the body and placed a ramp so I didn't die. In ranked, when you feel like you're about to lose a fight, don't be afraid to disengage. Disengaging is not a bad thing, so do it, especially when you know you're gonna lose the fight. I can't lie, in this fight I played it wrong. I was up against my opponent's wall, which you should never do unless it's your last resort. I backed up, expanded a little bit, made some space. I baited him out with my heels, then I made an edit, 1-pumped him, and the fight was over. In this fight, this guy had the health advantage right off rip, so I had to expand a lot so he doesn't jump in my box and instantly kill me. Always expand. It gives you space and many different angles to work with. So now I stopped expanding because my mats are very low. I let him take my wall, I added my cone so I don't take damage, and waited for him to shoot his shotgun, reset my cone for a free pump, and finish the fight. When someone shoots their shotgun, they have to wait about 2 seconds to shoot again, so I timed this perfectly. So now we have made it to endgame. I maintain height, making sure no one else can test me. I get this quick little snipe on a kid and keep tarping ahead so I don't get held back zone. I was able to stay ahead, maintain height, and then win the game. In solos, most of my ranked games go like this, so I hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown. I hope you guys enjoyed the full video. If you made it this far, comment down a salute emoji so I know who the real ones are. Let me know if you guys find any of these tips useful. Look out for more videos like this in the future. And yeah, peace out.
It sounds like you set me up. You're trying to set me up for an I don't care.
Who?
Alex.
Axe. Oh, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I'm on keep with them now, so it's like, nigga, if I die, like, I'm not gonna wait. How? Nah, I'm.
What did you just say to me?
Oh, dude. Well, I need to stop. Actually, my head's killing me.
Bro, you said you heard like 7 times in the past.
We don't give a fuck.
Baby, give me one more chance.
Ooh, baby, give me one more chance.